Okay guys, welcome back. This is Joe Ports with PCATTACK. This is part 2 of the video. I made it to this point now, so let's go to next, see what happens. This time I just left it as default admin password, so it should be easier, so I don't make any mistakes here. Doing a lot of things at one time, so I do apologize for that. So let's do this again, admin and password. Enter it in, log in. Sweet. Alright, put it in there for the site. Okay. As of right now, internet status, as you guys are aware, this is not connected to my internet. This is just for this, testing purposes only, to show you guys the UI. And this is my second AC3200. I already have another one that's already set up and going, and all I have to do now is just restore that, and just redo everything. But do not put, once again, this new firmware on there. This firmware, do not download it from the Asus website. Use the one that comes on the router. Just do the update. I'll show you where to do the update at and everything like that. And just stick with that. The reason why it's probably isn't on the router is probably because it has bugs. But I know Asus is on their website first. Sometimes it could take 30 days before it even appears on the router. So, I don't know why it's up there and they haven't tested it properly. Okay? Back here. At the top, you got your quick internet setup. Okay, you got your log out. Well, if you log out, then you have to put in admin password again to log back in. Reboot the router back to default. Select your language. Your SSID name, sorry. As I got it as test. And of course, it's in wireless router operation mode. And this is the firmware. I think the next one is also 0.3 something. Or another, I don't remember the number, but if you update it from the router, it will appear as long as you have connected to the internet. Alright, Smart Connect status is on, security level, WPA2 personal. I would recommend this is the security level you use, and you also turn on your WPA encryption to AES. A lot of devices recognize it. It will give you the best security that's available right now. It's very good and secure security setup. So, open system, it's totally up to you guys if you want to do open system. I would never recommend it, but hey, maybe you're 2, 3, 4 miles away from your neighbors and it's nowhere around you, so open system, it's not going to hurt you at all. I mean, if you have no passing through traffic or anything like that, if there's no one around you to see your network, so you should be okay. This is what happens when you turn your Smart Connect off. As you can see up top, your 5 GHz bands appear at the top, where you can select them, but so for this purpose, we'll leave it on. Here's your brand new status monitor here. As you can see now, Core 1, Core 2 has no activity. On a AC87R that I have, or U, this was moving, no matter what. This was always active and moving. And as you can see here, going from here to here is a quick transition. Go here, connect here. Everything is a very fast transition. On an AC87U or R, that was really laggy. It did not appear like this fast. It was actually a delay for every screen that I clicked on. And I thought it was the router, but I just to let you guys know, I went through 4 of them. And all 4 of them all had that exact same problem. And a lot of people also didn't notice the AC7U or R also had a latency issue on the 5 GHz band. This problem happened also with all 4 routers. It did not matter. I thought it was the router itself. It wasn't. My last one, I did not have problems with the 5 GHz band dropping. It was just the latency issue with the 5 GHz band. I turned off Smart Connect. I even turned off the firewall. I put it to like basic 5 GHz mode. I checked all the bands, all the frequencies, and I still have the exact same latency issue. With this, I have more options turned on, and I have 0 latency. So it depends on what you're doing or what you're using it for. You may or may not notice it. I noticed it in certain games or certain websites or loading certain movies, certain files. I didn't notice it with everything. But when I did notice it, it was very apparent, like right in front of my face. It almost felt like the 5 GHz band was trying to drop, but instead of it dropping, it went to a snail's pace and it just reconnected. And it was just weird, and it happened all the time, no matter what I was doing inside the game. Sometimes I was a little neat thing that was internet related, I was having that issue. Okay, here, guest network. Good thing to have. Even though Smart Connect is on, you can put your guest network on any one of these three, either the 2.4 or 1.25 gigahertz band. All you have to do, remember, each one you have up to 3 guest networks. Just enable it. It doesn't matter how this is set up. I'm not going to put it as open system because, you know, process illumination, I always have it there. And I'll just put this at 9 once. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just sort of for this purposes. And once you do that, if you want to have access time, you know, let's say you want them to only be on for 3 hours or 4 hours or 5 minutes, you could actually set that. Just take it from limitless, put it over here, and then you just fill this up. And then you're all set. Intranet, I don't think, unless you're using it for business purposes, I don't think that you're going to have an intranet, so you should be okay. Just leave it disabled. It's not going to hurt anything. I'm going to put that back to limitless and make this a good name and make it a decent password so it'll be something easy for you to remember. You know, me personally, I may use something like guest 007 or something like that. Instead of using GUEST, it's going to be GUESS 007. So it'll be something real easy for people to remember and, you know, hop on when they come into my house. But I'm only going to put them on a 2.4 gigahertz band because if you use my internet, you don't need to be on a 5 gigahertz band at all. You're a guest. You're in to access something and get out, and the 2.4 should be more than enough. They're using my 5 gigahertz band, that means they're trying to access the full speed of my internet. So what are you really trying to download to access the full speed of my internet? As I said right here, this is another benefit of this because you have a monitoring system. What you could do is, if you set up multiple networks, let's say that you have people over your house and they start to bog down your network. If you gave different people different SSIDs, that means that you could tell who's bogging down your network. Either you can approach them like, hey man, whatever you're doing, you can stop, or you can even kick them off your network. It's totally up to you guys. It's however you like it. Do it however you want to do it. You know, that's your guess, not mine. Alright, the AI protection. Back to here. You have your parental controls, of course. I don't pretty much think I need to go into, you know, parental controls or, you know, explanation for that. Yeah, I do have to go into another video for that. Network protection. This is something that I use, but I only use the malicious site blocking, and I use this vulnerability protection. I kind of haven't started using the affected device protection and blocking. The reason is, once they kind of get onto your network, they're kind of onto your network. If you're not doing file sharing or anything like that with them, you should be okay. I mean, it's not going to hurt you unless they're trying to, you know, break into government secure files or anything like that, but still, that still won't stop that anyways. So I just use this malicious site blocking. It's sites that get registered with Trend Micro as being, you know, it's an infectious, means that it has viruses or, you know, something that's harmful to your computer. It will block that site, and you will see like an Asus warning label appear on your screen instead of allowing you to go to that site, which is really good. And this one, it kind of does the same thing. So they kind of work hand in hand. This one, I haven't seen this really in action, but it says resolve common exploits within the router configuration. So I'm guessing that if there's security weaknesses inside the router that someone can use to access or backdoor into your network, it's supposed to stop them from doing that. I'm not 100% sure. I just turned it on. I haven't really had an opportunity to test that to see what it does. Okay, this is your adaptive QoS. Once again, you can turn this app analyzer on. What this would do is each device that's connected onto your network, no matter how many devices there are, it will show you the device name. Then under here, you're going to see in kilobits per second how much upload and download speed they're doing. So every device connected on, if you access this from a tablet, laptop, whatever like that, you still go to your router, that asus.com, type in your, well, for me it's admin password for password. Once you're in there, you come into the router, look at adaptive fuel OS, and you can see who's actually doing what. So this is a very good feature. And then on the screen, you can also set like priority. Let's say that there's like 7 people in your house. You can give yourself the highest priority, means that you're first come, first served. Even if you're last come, you're still first served. So you're going to get always the pristine connection strength in your internet. And you give everyone else whatever else you want to give them. Now, this QoS screen, I haven't used it because I have no reason to use this. Reason being, I will tell people with slow internet speeds, like if you're on a 6 megabit or 12 megabit speed, and you have multiple devices connected onto your network because people in your home, I will say that this will be a very good thing for you to have, because you can actually give certain traffic priority over other traffic. Like, let's say you want your web browsing to be, top priority. That means that everything else has to wait. So if you put web browsing as top and then gaming as second, that means that web browsing take priority over gaming when it comes to, internet speed and bandwidth allocation. Same thing if you're a YouTube watcher and you love YouTube, and that's all you watch every day. You can also give that priority over everything else. So YouTube gets the pristine bandwidth, and then everything else comes next in line. And right here, this is your web history. As of right now, we don't have any web history, but as I said, when you go back to like your setup here with your bandwidth monitor, everyone's going to have a name. So in your web history, select which client you want to look at, since it's only me, it's me right here, and you can actually look at that bandwidth usage. Okay, on the traffic analyzer. Now this is totally different from my Ac3200. It did not look like this in the last firmware that I used with that router. So right here, I haven't pretty much looked at it a lot, so I guess that this is a default setup because, once again, I just connected this router. And your traffic monitor, once again, you check traffic on 5 GHz bandwidth, your 2.4, and your wired. So I'm guessing because this only has one 5 GHz band, odds is it's probably connecting your 5 GHz band 1 and 2 together instead of actually separating them like it does in like the network map or your Wi-Fi or anything like that. USB application. This is a cool place to be if you want to do like your network printer sharing, or let's say you have an external hard drive or a thumb drive and you want to start putting files on there, or you want to set this up as a time machine for your Apple devices, which I am going to set up. I may set that up as a video. If you want to, just put it in the comments below. So when I set it up, I will record it. If you guys want it, I will post it to YouTube. But time machine setup for me is going to be a great feature because I have a lot of Apple devices on top of Windows devices. But primarily for all my mobile devices, everything is Apple. I kind of stuck with Apple for now. I was Android, but now I'm giving Apple a turn, and when I get tired of Apple, I may get a Windows Phone to try, because I like to actually see the different technologies and how it works in everyday usage. AI Cloud, you can set up your own cloud or your own VPN, which is a separate thing, so you can access your files from your USB thumb drive, and then you can access it from anywhere as long as your router's on instead of having to leave your computer on. So that's a very good feature. But there's a post out there that says that connecting a USB drive to your router for Asus have been cracked, so people are able to see your files from your USB devices as long as it's connected to the router. So they haven't said anything about fixing that as of yet that I have read, and they haven't said anything about we have a firmware coming out that will fix that, in which I think they should have got on it right away and it should have been up. But this problem's been going on for about, I think, 3 weeks now that it's been known for. So for them not to have fixed this right now kind of makes me wonder. This is your wireless setup. Right now I got enable Smart Connect for all you people that want to know how to set this up for your 2.4. I don't know how much range you need. If you need the most range, put this on 20 megahertz. If you don't need a ton of range, or you find out that when you go to the tip of your connection, you still have good enough signal, put it on 40, because then you can start getting speed. This is a trade-off. What's more important, distance or speed or bandwidth, however you want to put it. So for that setup, it's totally up to you. Lead these to the auto. Once again, this is an encryption method, WPA2 personal, so that you can activate your AES, and then you can set up your web key. So whatever you want it to be, it's totally up to you guys. Network key rotation intervals, I click on it so you guys can read what it does. I will really say, unless you really know what you're doing, just leave that at default. The rest of these are going to be people that want to, well, let me go back, I'm sorry, let me go to the 5 gigahertz and turn it back off. Go to the 5 gigahertz one, for example. Alright, your channel bandwidth. For me personally, when I have this set up by myself, I always put it on 80. Because for me, the 5 gigahertz band, especially the primary one, I'm going to want more speed and transfer rate than I'm going to want distance. Distance on this is not important. On my 2.4, I get around 98 anyways. So that's the max speed I was able to achieve on my 2.4 gigahertz band. On my 5 gigahertz band, at best case scenario, I go all the way up to 170. And that's for internet traffic. That's not even transferring files. Transferring files, I don't know what the max is. I actually do have to do a test. But when I was transferring one file, I got, close to around 200. But that was going to from an SSD to an SSD. And it was other kind of variables in mind, and it wasn't right here. But if I was to give like a real life scenario, I don't know what's going to happen. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually test it from at the router and further away and see what I get. Leave everything else pretty much to auto, and leave your security key wherever you want to, and leave this at 3600 once again, unless you know what you really are doing. Then you can change to whatever you want to. WPS screen is here. Your WDS screen is also here. Now, this Wi-Fi protection, make sure that's on. You're going to want that on. What that does is, as you can see, provides easy and secure established wireless, network. It allows this, makes it so it's harder for people to, get into your router or get onto your network. That's the best way I can put it. Your MAC filtering is here, radius settings here, and the professional screen. Your wireless scheduler, unless you have kids on there and you want to control like when they come on throughout the day, then you pretty much just say no to this. Of course, you want to enable the radio. If you don't enable the radio, this 5 gigahertz band will not work at all. Roam Assist, disable that. Well, you can enable it. It's up to you what you're going to be using it for, of course. Multicast, let the router do it itself. It's good at that, and it knows what it's doing in that case. Everything else kind of leave at default. Make sure that your 802.11ac beamforming is enabled. That's going to be a really good feature to have, especially your universal beamforming. Make sure that's enabled. Your power adjustment, just verify that's at 100%, and you're all set there. Go into your local area network or your LAN, and these are the settings for your LAN. So if you want to, dive deeper into it, you guys can. Your WAN, very next screen. As I said, this is for the people that really wants to dive into and really customize this router to wherever they want. And this is the one thing I like about this over the R8000. The R8000 does not have as many features, and it's not as user friendly as this is. Your IPv6, enable it. As of right now, it should be enabled. Leave it at default. Your VPN, this is if you want to set up your own VPN setup, PTTP, peer-to-peer. If you want to do it that way, you set it up through them. You go through the website, you follow the steps, and you should have it done. Should take you no more than about 30 minutes to set it up, depending on how much you know about this already. Firewall setting, of course, is here. Leave your firewall enabled, of course. I would never tell anyone to use this as your only firewall. Windows firewall is okay, but kind of use that at your own discretion. Try to have another firewall through like McAfee or Norton or your own virus protection company. That will be another good setup for you to have. I highly recommend you do that. This is just like a fail-safe, just in case this doesn't work, that catches it, or you never know. It's better to have it than not to have it, so why not turn it on? For me, it didn't affect my speed at all, especially the where are you at? The AI Protect network protection. This barely added any latency to my internet speed whatsoever. So in most cases, it didn't move at all. My latency may have been like 8 milliseconds or 26 or whatever. It may go to 9 or it may go to 27, but in most cases, it stayed exactly where it was. We were back at the firewall, of course. Here's settings for your firewall, however you want to set it up there. Alright, your administrative. Right here, when you set your route up the way you like it and everything is working great, save your settings. Just make sure you have an update you want it to be on. Save everything. Then, let's say you have to reset your router or it got reset by mistake. All you have to do is go to upload, find where your file is at, wherever you saved it, and then restore everything back to the way you had it, so you don't have to reset it up at all, which is a great feature to have. And right here, of course, you get your restore button. This brings it back to default settings. And your firmware upgrade, you get to check it, and then it'll look and see if it has another firmware. Just a rule of thumb, if you have a firmware update, something right here will just be flashing. And it will just constantly flash right here. Flash green, flash off. Or it's red or green, I can't remember the color. And it will let you know that means that you have a firmware update actually waiting for you. System, router login, name, new password. If you want to change that, your password to your router login or whatever you want to do. It's totally up to you. Alright, system log. Of course, this is like where people like I have this error message keep popping up or keep appearing. When you go in your system log, you get your error message. You can type it into your search bar and actually see what it means. I don't know what kind of error message you're going to get, but if you have package loss or if you have any other problems, a lot of times it will be right in the system log. Of course, you have your wireless log, DHCP, your IPv6, of course, is showing disabled. Router table, port forwarding, it's totally up to you guys. Your connections, and then at the bottom you have your network tools. As I said, this router has a lot to it. This is actually for your network analyze. I would tell a lot of people, if you're having problems with, let's say, Netflix or Google or something like that, this would be a good place to go to actually test it to find out what's happening. Make sure this is set to ping. Type in the problem of the website problem that you have, like if this is Google, type in www.google.com. If you can't find a website, you can search for the IP address of that site, and you use the IP address instead, which I would recommend anyone use. And then you do a test. Once you do the test, it's going to keep pinging that site. It pings it until you stop it. And then if you have package loss or anything like that, it will display here for you. So you know that you can pretty much try to narrow it down to whether it's a problem with the site or a problem with you or your setup. So, this is a good place to be, a good thing to use. Just remember, ping, website don't work, get the IP address, and then do it from there. Right now I have it at 5 odds that sometimes I set it to do it like 50 times. Ping that site 50 times and just go from there. But it's totally up to you what you guys want to set it up as, or even if you want to use it. Here's your network tools, Wake on LAN, and this is your Smart Connect rules. Now, I'm actually going to have to also dive into this, but I need to find out if I'm having a problem with one of my 5 gigahertz bands. If I find out I'm having a problem with band 1, but on my 2.4, my band 2 is working perfectly fine, I'm actually going to go into my Smart Connect rules, and then I'm going to make it so that 1 it's barely used until they fix it with a firmware. Hopefully they fix it with a firmware update. And then we'll be using the 2.4, and we'll be using 2, and then we barely use 1. But I actually have to dive into this. I haven't really had a chance to look at this, but I'm gonna dive into it, and I'm gonna have to do some tests to find out what's doing what. But I'm thinking that these rules are, from the way it's looking like if my connection or if my signal is the greatest, what it used first, what it goes to second, I don't know. I'm actually going to have to sit down and go through this, read this, and probably have to sit down with Asus and find out, is there a good way of setting this up, and go from there. So this has been your reports with PCATTACK. This has been an Asus Rt-Ac3200 router. If you guys have any questions, leave them below. Comments, leave them below. Subscribe to our channel. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your week or weekend. Thank you.